We've been working on multiplying decimals by whole numbers, so the warm-up is just a review of that. So I have 1 3/10 times 20. So first I'm going to estimate, and I'm going to say this is between 1 times 20 and 2 times 20, but closer to 1 times 20, because 1 3/10 is closer to 1 than it is to 2. So my answer is between 20 and 40, but closer to 20. 20 and 40, but closer to 20. Now I'm going to represent 1 3/10. So that is 1 whole and 3/10 times 20. I'm not going to draw 20 holes. I'm just going to say there will be 20 holes. And then I will represent my tenths. Well, 10 tenths makes a hole. I have 20 tenths, so that's 2 sets of 10 tenths. So each of these becomes 2 holes. 20 tenths, 2 holes, 2 sets of 10. So this one also becomes 2 holes, or 20 tenths, and this one also becomes 2 holes. So what I end up with is the 20 holes from here, plus these 6 is 26 holes, which is between 20 and 40, but closer to 20, so it checks out. And then I show my multiplication. That's 1 3/10 times 20. Let me put my 10 down there and multiply. And it can't be 260. That's way too big. It's got to be 26. So that's how I figure out where my decimal goes. Then I can move on to the place value version of doing this. So I'm multiplying 2 5/100 times 3. So my lowest place value is hundredths. I also have some tenths. I mean, technically I don't, but I have space for tenths. And I have ones, and then throw tens in just in case. So what we end up with is 205 hundredths times 3. That's 15, that's 1, that's 6, so we get 615 hundredths. I have to put the far right digit in the hundredths place, but I can only have 1 digit per place, so I put any overflow into the left digit spaces, and my decimal goes between my ones and my tenths. So 615 hundredths is the same as 6 wholes and 15 hundredths. Similar idea here. Hundredths are the smallest, then tenths. That means my decimal is going to go here between my ones and my tenths. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve. I'm going to do 42 hundredths times 30. And that's going to give me 1,260 hundredths. So I put the rightmost digit in the hundredths column because I'm dealing with hundredths. Then I fill in the 6 and the 2 and the 1, and I get 1,260 hundredths is the same as 12 wholes, and 60 hundredths is the same as 12 wholes and 6 tenths. So our objective today is we will use pictures to illustrate decimals multiplied by other decimals, and we will identify a quick rule for multiplying with decimals. This is the homework review. I have the first 2 drawn out, but 3 through 6 are just, the answers are given. You have to show your work to get full credit. So what we have here is 160 times 8, which is 16 tens times 8. So I get 128, and it's tens, so I add a 0. And so it's 128 tens, but there are 0 ones, so we add in that 0, and we get 1,280 ones. That's 1 in the thousands place, 2 in the hundreds place, 8 in the tens place, and 0 in the ones place. 7 hundredths times 8, we're dealing with hundredths, so I'm going to end with hundredths. It's 7 hundredths times 8 is 56 hundredths, so you get 56 hundredths, which is represented as 0 ones and 56 hundredths. Alright, one more example here of decimal multiplication with the place value chart. One more set of examples, I should say. So this is going to be in hundredths, because this is 16 hundredths. So my lowest place value is hundredths, then tenths, then my decimal, then ones and tens. So I'm going to go ahead and do 12 times 16 hundredths. So my answer will be in hundredths. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. That's 6, 2 is 8, and 1 is 9. And 1 times 1 is 1. 192 hundredths. So the 2 goes in the far right in the hundredths column, and the overflow keeps moving to the left. So we get 1 and 92 hundredths. 192 hundredths. Same idea here. Again, we're dealing with hundredths as our smallest unit. Place value, sorry. So hundredths, tenths, decimal, ones, tens. And it's 149 times 11. So that's 1 times 149 is 149, and 10 times 149 is 1,490. And I add and I get 13, 6, 1,639 hundredths. So that's 1,639 hundredths is the same as 16 wholes and 39 hundredths. Alright, so now let's move on to actually multiplying decimals by decimals. Now we've been representing these with pictures. We've been representing 1 and 2 tenths as 1 square and 2 lines. 1 and 2 tenths, 1 and 2 tenths. So I'm still going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and use one of these, like so. 1 and 2 tenths. But I have, instead of a whole number of groups of this, I have 1 and 2 tenths groups of this. So I have one whole group plus 2 tenths of a group, and it gets a little complicated here because I need to show what 2 tenths of a group would look like. So this is what 2 tenths of a group would look like. Like so. So you can see that this is 1 and 2 tenths, and 2 tenths of this is, well, 2 tenths of 1 is 2 tenths, so I get 2 tenths, and 2 tenths of 2 is, 2 tenths of 20 hundredths, or 2 tenths, is 4 hundredths. So I end up just kind of making 1 and 2 tenths this way, and then 1 and 2 tenths this way, and filling in the empty spaces to get my answer. So that is 1 and 4 tenths and 4 hundredths. Okay, let's prove it with estimation. It's a little more than 1 times 1, so it's a little more than 1. Okay, greater than 1 times 1, but only a little bit greater. It's not 1 times 2 yet, so it's going to be a little more than 1, but less than 2. And then when I multiply, I get 2 times 2 is 4. 2. 2 and 1. Add. Okay, and where does the decimal belong? Because it's not 12 times 12, it's not 144, it's 1 and 2 tenths times 1 and 2 tenths. So the decimal belongs right there, 1.44. Alright, this is still multiplication. I'm using a slightly different symbol here to get kids used to seeing different ways of representing multiplication. So this is 1 and 5 tenths times 2 and 4 tenths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put 1 and 5 tenths across. One and 5 tenths. But I need 2 and 4 tenths groups of that. So I'm going to need some space here. This is definitely going to run out of room. So I need 2 and 4 tenths groups of that. So this is one group. Let's make a second group, because we have 2 whole groups. But then we also have 4 tenths of a group. So 4 tenths of a group. So that's 2 tenths, 4 tenths of my wholes, and then hang on, this is going to take a second. Two tenths, 4 tenths of the tenths. So again, I end up with 1 and 5 tenths going across and 2 and 4 tenths going down, because I have 2 whole groups of 1 and 5 tenths and then 4 tenths of a group of 1 and 5 tenths. So when I count these things up, well, let's see, I have 4, 8, 10. That gives me another of these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That gives me another group of these. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gives me another whole. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 tenths and 1, 2, 3 wholes. So I have 3 and 6 tenths. Now I'm going to show a more simplified picture of this, because that obviously took a lot of space and it really doesn't need to take that much space. So same thing, but with a simplified picture. Delete, 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 delete. Let's do it by drawing 1 and 5 tenths across. And then I need 2 whole groups of that. So that's the second group. And then 4 tenths of a group. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths of the whole group. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 tenths of the tenths. And then I would do the same thing. Let's use our estimation. This is close to 1 times 2. It's going to be bigger than that because I rounded down for both of them. Or I could say it's close to 2 times 2 is 4. My answer does need to be close to 4. Probably pretty close because I round up for this one and down for this one. So let's do the same thing as I did before. So that's 5, 10. Gives me another line. 5, 10. Gives me another line. That's 5, 10. Gives me another whole, and then 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 3 and 6 tenths. And when I multiply 15 times 24, I get 24 6. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 1 is 2 and 1 is 3. 360, and obviously it's not 360 because it's not actually 15 times 24. It's 1 and 5 tenths times 2 and 4 tenths, so it's 3 and 6 tenths. You can continue doing the same thing, represent with pictures, estimate first. This is close to 3 times 2, so it's going to be oops, got a little ahead of myself. So it's close to 6. It is 1, 2, and 8 tenths. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So 2 whole groups of that. That's my second whole group of that. And then 1/10 of a group of that. So that's 1/10 of that, 1/10 of that, 1/10 of that, that, and that. Let's see if I can group anything. Well, there are 8 hundredths, so that's going to stay. There are 16, 17, 18 tenths, so that's 8, 9, 10. Gives me a whole. And then 8 left, so 8 tenths and 5 wholes. And then that's 28 times 21. Okay, because we know the digits stay the same, just the place value changes. So 8, 2, 16, 4, 5, 8, 8, 5. So it's not 588. The place value is different. Based on both of these, I'm going to go with 5 wholes and 88 hundredths. And we can continue on with these until we get to slightly harder ones, like 6 tenths times 1 and 2 tenths. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whole group, 6 tenths. And I have 1 whole group of 6 tenths plus 2 tenths of a group. So 2 tenths of that, 2 tenths of that, 2 tenths of that, and so on. So again, 6 tenths across. One and 2 tenths going down, 1 whole group and 2 tenths of a group going down. I skipped my estimation, so let me estimate. This is going to be close to 1 times 1, so it's going to be somewhere around 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can make a whole group. Alright, so I have 2 hundredths right there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths, 72 hundredths. Let's multiply. It's got to be near 1, so 7.2 would be too big, 72 would be too big, so it's got to be 0.72. Same thing here. It's 8 tenths. 2 whole groups of 8 tenths. Then 4 tenths of a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me do my estimation. It's about 1 times 2, so it's going to be around 2. We combine any, that's 8, 10, add another one of these, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Add another one of these, and 4, 8, 10. Add another one of these, so I end up with 2 hundredths left over. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a whole. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1 whole and 92 hundredths, which is close to 2. 2.4 times 8 tenths. That's 32. That's 1619. It can't be 192, way too big. 19.2, too big. It's gotta be 1.92. And then one more example of a tricky group. 1 3/10 would look like this. But I don't have even a whole group of 1 3/10. I only have 4/10 of a group of 1 3/10. So 4/10 of a whole would look like that. And then I need 4/10 of each of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2. Oops. Did not need that extra row. Remember what you're multiplying by. My estimate is between, well, it's going to be less than 1. Because it's more than 1 times 0, but it's definitely less than 1 times 1. So when I multiply, that's 12, 5, 5.2 and 52 are both too big, so it's got to be 0.52. And let's check over here. That's 4, 8, 10 gives me another 10th. So 2 hundredths and 5 tenths. You would do the same thing here. This would look like 5, 4, 5, and 4 tenths, but we're only getting 1/10 of that, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. And finally, we're going to look for a rule. So 16 times 13, simple and basic. I'm going to do this with an estimate first. It's about 20 times 10, so it's about 200. Then I'm going to use a grid because that's pretty easy for me. It's 16, 10 and 6 times 13, 10 and 3. So that's 160 and 30, and 3 times 6 is 18. So it's 160 when I add these, and 30 and 18 makes 48, and when I add that, I get 208, which is close to my estimate, so it works. Now, for this one, my estimate is that it's about 2 times 10 is 20. And if I used one of my rules, one of my methods that I've learned, what would be a good method? I would let the kids choose their own method. So let's do 1 6/10. I'm going to need 10 of those plus 3 of those. So 10 of those would be 10 wholes and then six holes, a hole for each of these. So I'm going to have 16 plus 3 groups of this. So I'm going to go ahead and, to make room, erase this and just make a note that I'm going to have 16 plus 3 groups of this. Let me make my 3 groups of this. Two, 3. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gives me another hole. And 2. Actually, that should be it, shouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's going to be 8 tenths. And 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 6 is 10. And 10 and 10 makes 20. 20.8. And this would be 1 and 6 tenths. So that's 1 whole group and 3 tenths of a group. And then I get 3, 6, 9, 10. Gives me another of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gives me another hole. So I have no tenths left, and I have 2 holes, 2 and 8 hundredths. So there's a pattern happening here. And it is, I'm just going to go ahead and do 1 and 6 tenths times 130. Three times 6 is 18. 4. Moving in again. 6, 1, 8, 10. My estimate for this would be about 2 times 100, so about 200. So 208 makes sense. So there's 2 different rules that can be used to help here. One of them is as simple as what I've been doing. Estimate, multiply the numbers, figure out where the decimal goes. That's a really great rule to live by. If every kid just knows to do that, then they are doing just fine. So I'm going to write that down. Estimate, multiply digits, place decimal appropriately. But there's also the classic rule of there are no decimal places in this, so there are no decimal places in the answer. And there is 1 decimal place in this, so there is 1 decimal place in the answer. And there are 2 decimal places here, so 2 decimal places in the answer. And there's 1 decimal place here, so there's 1 decimal place in the answer. Of course, that decimal place happens to be a 0.0, which is why it's important to multiply all the digits and then figure out where the decimal goes. But basically, count the decimal places. In the problem, in both numbers. Then put the same number in the answer. The same number of decimal places. in the answer. So to illustrate that really clearly, let's take another look at an example. Let's do 1.02 times 0.04. So there are 2 decimal places and another 2 decimal places, so there should be 4 decimal places in the answer. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 1 is 4. We need 4 decimal places, but we only have 3 digits, so we're going to have to go 1, 2, 3. We need a 4th number, which we will fill in with a 0 to get our 4 decimal places. So multiply the numbers normally, count the number of decimal places, put the same number in the answer, even if it means you have to add a 0 at the beginning.